All right, looks like we are live on Facebook and YouTube. Sharing the study group. There we go. Hello, everyone. My name is Steve Romanchek. I'm one of the instructors here on Melissa's team at the Insurance Exam Queen. We are live to take your questions. If you're about to take your test and want to know some pointers, we can help with that. If you just took your test and passed, we'd love to hear about you passing your test. If you missed your pass by a few points, we can help guide you in the right direction. Not sure which of our packages to choose, we can help with that. But go ahead and put in the comments on what state you're studying in, what exam you're studying for, and I'd be happy to help you. Hey, Cora, Tennessee PNC, that's great. All right, so just sent a number of links to the chat. It didn't really work though. Let's just delete those. Delete. Didn't show up how I wanted it to. Hey, Smiles, personal lines in California. Great. It's cool. Karina, you are studying in Louisiana, Life and Health. Great. Well, we are here to take your questions. The best thing I can tell you for all of you that have just said, hey, and what state you're studying in and which exam you're studying for, is that if you want to be a part of our 90% that pass on the first try, or the 90% that pass on their second try after studying with us, their second exam attempt, what you want to do is get gold. Gold has a 90% first-time pass rate, 90% second-time pass rate. It teaches whether you're doing PNC, Life and Health Adjuster, it teaches you all the fundamentals that you need to know and that you need to focus on. That is definitely the way to go. And then here is, don't know if it'll come up as how that will come up. Let's see. Okay, it didn't come up as an actual hyperlink, but at least it's not showing up as a hyperlink on my end. But the link I just posted into the comments is the platinum versus gold link. This will be a chart on our website that shows you all the differences between all the gold tiers and our platinum tier. Now, something really cool that we just started is that no matter what tier you choose, from gold, gold state, gold plus, or the platinum, you get live classes. So you'll get to join in on any live class that's happening throughout the month or live game night and be a part of that class. Now, coming up later this month, Melissa's going to be doing a deep dive into insurance basics. And if you are a part of at least gold, you get to join those classes with Melissa herself. Hey, Yuli, you said you test for personal lines tomorrow. What are the main topics you think you should for sure look over and make sure you have it down? So really, on the night before your test, we tell you to just relax. Trust. I don't know how much studying you've been doing, but hopefully, you made it through your pre-licensing course. Hopefully it was one of our courses, and trust that you've done enough. Be confident and go in and say, I got this, and go ahead and, kick the exam's butt tomorrow. But do not try to stay up all night cramming and worrying. Now's the time to just relax and trust the process and trust you've done enough. Okay, studying for 2 weeks. I mean, that's plenty of time. I don't know, what all they've gone through with you or which company they made you go through. But just have confidence and tell yourself, you got this. If there's a section that you don't feel comfortable with, I would go through and try. If you're not already in one of our courses, look on YouTube and search Insurance Exam Queen Homeowners or Insurance Exam Queen, whichever topic you don't feel comfortable with. More than likely, there's some sort of video on it. The difference is with our gold or any of our packages than the ones on YouTube. The ones on YouTube are going to be short and sweet, not super detailed. The higher you go in those packages, the more detail and the more in-depth and the more study tricks and tips you get included in each of those videos. No, Ramona, gold is for P&C or life and health. So if you are only studying life, you would get the life and health gold package, but only watch the life videos. If you are doing, P&C, if you're doing just personal lines, you'd buy the P&C gold, but only study the personal lines content within gold. But there's an option for both. Hillary, do you recommend gold to someone who is working for a P&C carrier and trying to learn the basics? I'm not going to take the P&C exam. I mean, yes, that's a great way to really learn about insurance. Now, the thing about our courses are that we're going to teach you what's on the test. You will understand insurance enough to pass the test because we teach you exactly what they test on. Now, some of the state-approved pre-licensing courses, Ramona, or Hillary, sorry, they try to teach you everything about insurance, And you have to hope that you're retaining whatever is in that giant bubble they try to teach you that might be on your test. And part of that huge bubble they try to teach you is what you really need to know for the job, but not all of that's going to show up on the test. So our courses are designed to really have you focus on what is most likely going to show up on your exam. We teach the most tested topics in the easiest ways to remember with the most detail on those topics. So yes, you can definitely learn insurance basics and even more from us. Are you going to learn the ins and outs of actually like doing the day-to-day job and some of those deeper concepts? No, because if it's not something that shows up on the test, we're not going to teach it. We want to focus on what's heavily tested. But that's a great way. Doing our course, you will definitely feel confident enough to take the test. And then once you get your license, who knows, maybe your company will give you a bonus, and then you can start selling and making more money. If you're out there and watching, do not be shy. We love to hear from you. We've heard so many different kinds of questions. Trust me, the only silly questions are the ones that you don't ask. So please feel free to jump in and ask your questions. Do not be shy. You don't want to get to test day and wish you would have asked for clarification or invested in yourself and actually got our gold package. Within our package, you're going to hear things. I had just said how much focus is put on what's actually on the test. You know, Melissa will say things a funny way or abbreviate things into ways you can memorize lists within our packages, within our videos. And that's another great thing. It's all videos. With the exception of the state-specific study guide, if you get gold and state or higher, everything is videos. So with PNC or life and health, some are a little bit longer, but you get over 30 hours of video of Melissa and Peter teaching these very tested topics, which is very different than having to read it yourself in a very wordy insurance textbook. That, when you're trying to learn the language of insurance, that can be very daunting. But hearing it on video from people that have been in the industry and have teaching degrees, and it's something that will very much be helpful to you. Anyone else out there needs some help? The only silly questions are the ones that you don't ask. For those of you that are just jumping in, my name is Steve Romanchek. I'm one of the instructors here on Melissa's team at the Insurance Exam Queen. We're happy you're jumping in with us tonight. So after you pass your PNC or your life and health, and you do all the steps to, get your fingerprints, do this and that, Jump through all the steps that they make you jump through once you pass your test to, file everything correctly and you get your license. There's a lot you could do. You just start applying for those insurance jobs. Do you want to sell? Do you want to just work in customer service? Do you want to be an adjuster? What all do you want to do with that license that you just obtained? Decide if you want to work for a captive agency or a independent agency. So, Elite, you said you took your exam today and failed. Okay. Sorry to hear that, but it's okay. Part of the reason the Insurance Exam Queen, we exist here at the Insurance Exam Queen is because it's not an easy test. There are people that need help passing it, and so you're in the right place. You have found the Insurance Exam Queen, and we can help get you there. So what you need to do is to look at your score sheet when you get it. And some states break it down by exact number of questions. Other states just show a bar graph on their score sheet. If it's just the bar graph, however full that bar graph is how well you did in that section. The least full it is, or the lesser full is you did less well on those sections. Now, if there's numbers, it'll say it's this many questions that they ask. You got this many right. And you do the math then, subtract the number you got right from the total number, and then you analyze all those answers, those differences, and the ones that are higher then are the areas where you missed the most amount of points. You'll want to go back and look at those sections to see where your gaps were. You actually found our channel yesterday. You were using Excel, and the business set a 10-day plan for you to start the exam. Okay, so another thing then, the company that you're working for gave you a deadline on when you need to take the exam and have it passed. Don't let that burden, that weight on your shoulders be what prevents you from passing. So you're studying, you're reaching out to us now. You must really think you're going to like the career of insurance. So don't let it be the burden of that company saying they're going to pull their job offer if you don't pass in time. If they pull their job offer, let them. You're going to pass this test when it's supposed to happen for you. And then you can have a wonderful career in insurance, whether it's at that company or not. We like to say, take everything like it's working in your favor. So if you don't pass in a timely manner to where on their schedule and they do pull that job offer, let them. Maybe that wasn't the right place for you. Just take it as a good sign. Also, like I said, just have faith that everything's working in your favor. You were going to get your pass. It's not if you ever pass. It's just when. You will get your pass. This next time you go take your test, say, okay, I got the first one off my shoulders. I know how they like to ask questions now. I know the areas, looking at my score sheet, I know the areas I didn't do well in that I need to restudy. And I'm going to get that pass this next time. I got this. Every time you walk past the mirror, I want you to look in the mirror and say, I'm awesome. I'm smart. I'm going to pass my insurance test. 3D or third grade. You said that who covers the adjusters in the Facebook group? So Angela is the one that answered. She's our adjusters study buddy. So even if you get the adjusters gold or the adjuster platinum, she handles the adjusters information in the adjusters classes that would be built in with your gold package, where it's Melissa teaching the PNC gold content. Kinley, you said life in Massachusetts. Awesome. I love Massachusetts. Salem and Boston are two of my favorite cities I've ever traveled to. Elite, you said no. It was more than that. And they needed to be licensed to do the job. Their plan was 10 days from the start of the Excel course. You take the exam, which was today. You think you just didn't prepare. Suppose better study habits as I prep for the next attempt. Okay. So I don't know what was your score? So 70% is passing in most states. I forget what state you said you were in, if you did say. No, you did not say. So most states are 70%. You need to figure out how many points you missed by, and then we can, I want you to, like I said, look at your score sheet. So New York State, 68. Okay, yeah. New York. Let's see. I don't want to verify. I want to tell you the wrong thing. I believe New York is 70. Yeah, so New York, like I thought, New York is also one of the ones that's 70%. Most states are. So you were so close, especially with that 68. I mean, you were just right there. Get gold, work your way through gold, and you will definitely, I have a really, really good faith in you that this next time will definitely be your pass. If you scored 68 using Excel alone, you're going to get well more than your 70 that's needed for your pass on this next exam attempt. And I will put the link again down in the comments. Let's see. Okay, that is it. So the link again that I just shared into the comments is our gold versus platinum link. This will show you the differences between the tiers of gold and platinum. And as long as you get gold, silver and bronze do not have live classes. But as long as you get gold, you're going to be great. You can have live classes, and you'll have the 30+ hours of recorded video, all the downloadable notes and documents we have. Gold is where it's at. Right. So, I mean, we've had people buy gold on Friday afternoon, study Friday night, study all day Saturday and Sunday, and take their test on Monday and pass. That's a lot of cramming, which we don't recommend, but it is doable. You can pass within 2 days if you just sit down and watch all the videos, take notes. I mean, you can do it. Cora, you said you take your test next week and have been using gold, but with your course on ExamFX, I haven't even started the casualty, but the gold goes over both at the same time. So I've been skipping to the quizzes. Skipping to the quizzes on ExamFX. So Ramona, you get 100 days. From the day you purchase your course and first log in, you get 100 days. Okay, Cora. Yeah, so you get, don't skip through just to the quizzes on ours, because we want you doing more than quizzing. We want you watching the videos. Use the quizzes as a way to see what you're retaining and what you need to go back to. But I get, if you just click through ExamFX to get to their quizzes to pass their final exam, so then you can get the certificate for your state, that's what you need. Cora, what state did you say you were in? Tennessee. So Tennessee, okay, Cora, and unless your employer actually wants you to finish the ExamFX course, I would not worry about ExamFX. Even their quizzes are going to be misleading for you. So I would just start focusing on the content in your gold course. Do not worry about the ExamFX, because you're in Tennessee, and Tennessee does not require you to do a state-approved course. So you'll get more out of just focusing on our content and rewatching the videos and taking the quizzes with the videos in our course versus your ExamFX stuff. Ramona, are we allotted a certain time? Yes. So that was 100 days. And then I thought I missed a question. So Hiller, you said, what's the difference between a captive agency and an independent agency? So a captive agency holds their people captive to only their company. So State Farm, for example, is a captive insurance company. Agents for State Farm can't sell you a Progressive policy. Even though Progressive might be cheaper for you, they can't shop for a Progressive policy for you. They can only sell you State Farm. Farmers is a captive company. They only allow you to sell Farmers Insurance as a farmer's agent. Now, they're nationwide, actually, they no longer hold their agents captive. You can be independent. There's a number of companies. So Progressive Corporate is captive, but Progressive also opened their product up to brokers, to independent agents. So you can have access to Progressive, but not be a Progressive corporate agent. But you can be both. Progressive can be both. Same with National General or Allstate. I've worked for Allstate corporate, but I've also worked for an independent agent where I did have access to Allstate in addition to a number of agencies. Now you think, well, someone might ask, well, why would you want to be held captive to a certain company and the price is the price and that's it, and you have no options for your customers, when if you're independent, you can look at your customer's situation and figure out the best place for them. Well, that all depends on how much support you want from your company that you're appointed with. So captive agents will get money for marketing, and they'll get a lot more support from the corporate office, where independents do all their marketing on their own, and they're not just marketing, but you're on your own a lot more. But you have access to multiple more companies. So you have to decide what's best for you and go from there. If you want to go the captive side and have more support from the corporate offices, or do you want to be independent and be able to appoint yourself with any company that will appoint you and have access to all those companies for your customers? So Bridgewater, what state are you in? You might have heard me tell Cora not to worry about ExamFX, but it depends on what state you're in. Cora's in Tennessee, which is why I gave her that advice. So, Joe, you were in Idaho. Nice. Idaho also does not require a state-approved pre-licensing course. So, Joe, you could focus on just our content here at the Insurance Exam Queen, and you'll have enough information that you need to pass. So Bridgewater, you do need a state-approved course. You are in Indiana. That is one of the states that still requires a state-approved course. So what we recommend for you then is to watch your gold course. And so our free content is great if you're good at studying alone and you are comfortable with your pre-licensing course, doing all the reading and being able to understand the two together. So let's get down. Sorry. But if you really want the most tested topics, the easiest ways to remember, go gold. That's one of our paid packages. Gold is $99 for 100 days access. That gets you the gold course, your live classes, downloadable notes and documents, some quizzing, or some extra quizzes to test your knowledge from our videos. And then there's tiers above that if you need some more resources, like a state study guide or extra quizzes. And then if you go platinum, you would have constant texting access to Melissa and I. So we're in a texting study group with platinum students. You have a question, you ask your question in the study group, and we answer it ASAP. But going back to, I got distracted. I saw a squirrel and got distracted. Bridgewater, you said Indiana. So Indiana is one of the states that still requires pre-licensing. What we recommend you do is you watch all of our videos, watch your gold course, and then go back to that ExamFX course that your company wanted you to use. And as Cora was saying, she was just able to then click through the videos to get to the quizzes, take those quizzes to get them passed, and then you can get to the final exam within ExamFX and pass it, and then you'll get your certificate that says you completed the state-approved pre-licensing for Indiana. But you will need to, because you're in Indiana, you have to get that certificate in order to take the exam. So watch all of our videos and then just click through your content and pass what you need to pass in ExamFX to get that. Currently, we are not state approved, so we can't give you that certificate. We can be supplementary to one of those courses. But if you're not in a state that requires it, we are more than what you need to pass. So, Angel, so the Ask Me Anything is started at 5:30 Eastern. Or sorry, 6 Eastern. 6 Eastern. This isn't as much a class as it is just to ask me anything. People come in and ask questions on packages and study tips, test tips, that kind of thing. Hillary, are we doing Kahoots tonight? No, tonight is not a Kahoot game. Tonight I will go live on Zoom and show people how to best navigate through their paid packages, through the gold, how to use the gold course and above to the best you can. Tonight is not a Kahoot. We do a, let's see, I think tomorrow night is PNC, and then Friday afternoon is Life and Health this week. And then it will be opposite next week. Oh, okay. Thank you. That was. Thanks, Elena. Appreciate you. Using a new streaming software that instead of having to stream independently on Facebook and on YouTube, we're using a new program that streams on both places both places at the same time. So this is my first time using it. So that was from my test run earlier, and I didn't realize the title was never changed. So thanks, Elena. Nice to see you. Thanks for jumping on. Christelle. So you cannot print the notes from your gold package from your phone, only when you're connected to your computer. That may be a phone-ish, like your phone. I don't know if that's just your phone not talking to your printer. And it may be that when you're clicking on the paperclip, it's actually already open. So where you're seeing the notes area on gold, if you're clicking on that paperclip, you might actually be closing that folder on your phone. Sometimes when you open that section, that the attachments drop down is already open. So when you click on the paperclip on your phone screen, you're actually closing that folder. So I would just double check there. So Morgan, you said, should I use all of Gold plus all the other packages provided? So with all of our packages, whichever package you choose, you get all the packages and resources in the tiers from the packages below. So if you choose bronze, bronze is the bottom package. You don't get anything extra. But if you order silver, you'd get all of silver and all of bronze. If you get the gold, you get the classic gold videos with the downloadable stuff from gold, and you'd get silver and bronze. Gold plus, you get your state study guide. You get the quiz and exam package. You get your gold videos. You get all the gold stuff that goes with that classic gold, and you get silver and bronze. So you're asking, do you need to use all of it? So I would say at least watch all of gold. Watch gold from top to bottom, no skipping around. Take handwritten notes, make yourself flashcards while watching gold. Take the quizzes and see how well you do. Use those quizzes as a map to see what you retained from those gold videos. Then you can choose to go back and either rewatch the videos in gold, or if you want, then you can go into silver and or bronze and watch the videos on the same topics. They're going to be different videos. Just remember, the ones in silver and bronze aren't as detailed as the ones in gold. So you are going to get more detail in the gold videos, but since it's a different video and maybe Melissa explained it slightly different, you may understand the silver, and it might be the polishing you need to get a better understanding. But really, gold is where it's at. The silver and bronze are only there as extra resources for you. Good evening, Darren. Like to know if you can only purchase health. You are licensed in life insurance and only need the health course. No. So our packages are life and health or PNC. And then the adjusters package is our PNC with adjusters content. If you do the life and health gold or any of the tiers, you would just not watch the life section. There, it's split up, life and health, and you just watch the health side. Charles, if you sign up, is the course structured like subject 1, whatever? So yeah, there's going to be, when you like enter gold, it's general insurance, and then there's homeowners and dwelling, and there's personal auto, and there's commercial and commercial auto and commercial packages. It's split up into sections. Each of those sections has, sometimes it's one video, sometimes it's multiple. There may be a quiz with that section to quiz your knowledge on it. If you go with the gold plus, you get extra quizzes and an extra final exam to take to test your knowledge. But we do recommend you don't use the quizzes as your only study tool. The reason for that is, even though multiple agents will tell you, hey, the way to pass the test is just keep retaking a quiz until you get 100% or 90% or better, and then you'll know you're good to go take the state test. Well, where that's wrong is that then you just memorize that quiz you kept retaking, and you actually didn't learn the content. You just memorized a quiz. So use the quizzes as a guide to know where your gaps are, so then you can go back and study those areas. Where can we find all the packages and prices? So Charles, I'll repost this in the comments for you. This is a link that will get you to where your that will show you all the different tiers of gold and the resources with those, and then what platinum is compared to the gold tiers. Any tier of gold and platinum now include live classes. So you don't have to worry about, which tier has the live classes. As long as you get gold or above, you're going to have access to the live classes and the Kahoots. Awesome, Morgan. Hopefully you took your own handwritten notes, made some flashcards, and that you're doing well on the quizzes. But now that you've made it all the way through gold, it's time. If that hasn't boosted your confidence already, just start telling yourself how awesome you are. You've made it through the gold course. Your pass is coming. You're smart. You got this. But you are not missing out on anything in those lower packages unless you want to go back and review that material. But it is different videos than in gold. Yeah, Joey, certain states, have different regulations on that, on if there's a separate test for adjusters or not, or if you can if the PNC license is good enough to be an adjuster. It all depends on your state. But if there is a separate section on your state's test for adjuster or a separate adjuster test, we have that option for those people. So, Joe, the videos on YouTube are the way Melissa teaches in the gold packages. So if you like Melissa's style of teaching on YouTube, you're going to love the gold course because it's just more detail than that, but she teaches the same way. Melissa likes to say, okay, she can teach homeowners in a half-hour little video on YouTube, maybe take, an hour-ish to teach it in bronze, 2 hours to teach it in silver, but then on gold, it's like a almost 4-hour video, homeowners and dwelling in gold. So it's all in the level of detail and the amount of resources you want. But I haven't said this yet. If you are watching, no matter where you're watching, on Facebook or YouTube, we'd love for you to click likes on the video. If you haven't yet, comment in the comments on what state you're studying in, which exam you're studying for. That'd be great. It really helps us out to know who's out there watching, what kind of states. Those likes really help us out as well. So make sure to follow us on Facebook and subscribe to us on YouTube. That way you get all the content. As soon as we go live, you'll see when Melissa and I go live. You'll see all our newly uploaded videos and any content we share. We're Ramona, for someone that has taken the test twice and failed, would you say that 159 life and health plus is better than the $99 gold? So I don't know how much you're missing by missing your pass. It all depends on where you're missing a lot of points too. If you're missing a lot on the state laws and regulations, you'll at least want to go with the gold and state tier, because that's going to get you our state regulation study guide, which will teach you all, focus on all your state laws and regulations. Now, that study guide that's state specific is a PDF versus a video, but it will be focused on your state laws and regulations. So if that's one of the areas you're struggling in, it may benefit you to get the gold and state. But then you also get the extra stuff like the quiz and exam package as well for the gold plus. So that really depends on how much you're missing by and what your scores are looking like in each of the sections. But at least gold. If you get gold, it's the same videos as the gold plus or the platinum. All those higher tiers are the gold core videos, or the gold classic gold videos at their core, at the bones of those levels. But it's just all the extra resources on top of those classic gold videos. Absolutely. Happy to help. Anyone else out there? Coming up on the end of the hour, going to be switching over to our live class here soon, where we walk people through the gold to make sure you're getting the most out of your package. All right. Well, I want to thank everyone for jumping on, asking all kinds of great questions. Make sure you get gold if you are looking to be a part of that 90% that pass on the first try, 90% pass on the second try. For those that do have to test again, Gold will boost your confidence, not only help you understand the content more, but we really work on your mindset. Make sure you're confident going into this test, that you got this and you're smart. It really works. Trust the process. Take handwritten notes when you're watching your videos. Make yourself flashcards. Tell yourself you got this. Be confident. Take your time on the test, and your pass is coming. Hope to see you all in a future class or a game night sometime soon. Until then, have a great one. Wish you all the loves, all the vibes.